Tonight, the producers tried to remove any last shred of dignity the women had. First, they were thinking they were making Love Island. This is not a sponsored post, by the way. When they got the women in their swimsuits to do a faux or fake water aerobics class at the mansion. Then they made them do some silly dance moves in the pool to try and make it funny, and, it actually wasn't. And second was the group date, where they had to provide the entertainment for a charity show, but more on that later. First up, Sam Armitage came into the mansion to ask the probing question, who was catching feelings? This obviously was to find out some intel about who she needed to get eliminated from the house. Sunny and Kim admitted they were crushing a bit. Nepo mum Laura was getting so little airtime she admitted she would take either a single or a group date with Bear. You would have been thinking she'd been on the horse group date if you'd watched the previous episode recap carefully at the beginning of the episode, where she was commenting on Lauren's behaviour on the horse when she was not even there. Speaking of Lauren, she's coming across as slightly obsessive but mildly amusing, and she's very comfortable on camera. Bear at one point must have been wondering if he would need to take an AVO out on her, as she, in detail, talked about how she wanted to touch him and get close to him. Terry was the lucky winner of the solo date tonight, and this was held at Luna Park. But the villain of the series, her adulterous ex-husband, also came along, as it gave her another opportunity to tell the tale of his infidelity. He's almost had as much airtime as Bear's ex-wife, and at this stage, both of them deserve to get credits at the end of the episodes. The sideshow game Striker, which they played, showed that it was as rigged as the TV show they were on, as when both of them took the mallet and hit the button, the lights went all the way up to the top. Terry's prize was a big blue bear, but this stuffed bear had a facial design that was more animated than the Batchie's was for most of the episode. After the usual conversation of her bad behaving husband or ex-husband and Bear's perfect marriage to his dead wife, he asked her the hard-hitting question of whether she would be ready for marriage. After some mutterings that kind of gave the vibe that she was, she popped in the zinger, "I don't want to be a nurse or a purse," and I thought, give the lady a standing ovation. Also, did she diplomatically dump him at the end of the date when she said, "You have a place in my heart and I won't forget it"? However, at the end of the date, she received the obligatory kiss and on the lips and the red rose. And then it was time for the group date, which was a charity event to raise money for cancer. But the girls had to provide the entertainment. But before getting on with the show, they made sure that they gave an opportunity for the Batch and the Bachelorette to talk about all the people they had lost to cancer. I mean, I thought this show was about moving forward, but this conversation really had them stuck in the past. Shamsi again showed that maybe she's not ready to be on the show, as she looked very emotional, clearly thinking of her recently departed husband. Kim started crying about her second husband, who was diagnosed at the age of 44 and given 6 weeks to live, but lasted 3 years, which was great. Sunny, who revealed she was a survivor of breast cancer, started crying. And some cynics might have said there was some happy tears mixed up with the real tears, as she probably realised that this compelling backstory guaranteed that she would not be eliminated tonight. Moving on to the charity event, Lauren should win an Academy Award, or at least a Logie for Best New Talent, when she proclaimed with a straight face that she was so proud of Bear for organising the event. And at this soiree, the Channel 9 stars came in droves, and it certainly highlighted the lack of multicultural diversity there is at that network, because it was a sea of white faces. It also highlighted to me that I've not watched much free-to-air TV in the past 10 years, as I only identified about 5 of the celebs. Abby Chatfield turned up and managed to get more time in the few moments that she was on screen than her mum has for the first 4 episodes. As always, Abby asked the hard questions, asking Bear whether he had gone on a date with her mum yet. He confirmed that he had not. Brady Hall from A Current Affair was there, and Beau and him reminisced over the story he did 15 years ago about fixing up the house due to Audrey's terminal cancer. Bear got emotional as he told Brady that it had given Audrey a peace of mind. Jan, Janet, and Catherine were first up doing an Olivia Newton-John and Jane Fonda aerobics style performance in leotards and tights. It took a Benny Hill style twist as they thrust and wiggled to camera. It did get some laughs, but did I spy a tissue stuffed down Janet's bra? Anyway, amazing bodies. Trina, as a nurse and a doctor, played how to get tested for prostate cancer, with Bear as the patient. I was thinking this may get them to the top or eliminated, depending on Bear's peccadillos, not suspecting the twist myself that the skit was just about a blood test, and that actually too was slightly amusing. Bear looks like he's over Lauren, and she did a bizarre skit with her parrot, which was apparently spent 12 hours in a car getting there. No wonder the parrot was not performing on cue, and I'm not sure it's actually legal in New South Wales for a parrot to provide lap dances anyway. Lauren was very natural and non-phased on stage as her act went completely off script. Bianca used her opportunity to audition for Channel 9, giving a quick stand-up routine, and Shamsa painted a bear and Sunny and Elizette danced. All up, just over $10,000 was raised for charity. Then it was back to the pre-rose cocktail party, where it was postmenopausal girls gone wild, where they were uninhibited and threw off their shoes. Sunny got a one-on-one time with Bear, and he told her that he thought she was special. They did look like they had some chemistry, and she actually got a semi-pash with a bit of an open mouth action. Kim said she felt a bit flat, and Jane was paranoid that she was going to be sent home as she'd had no time with him. Lauren did make me laugh when she said she thought she might get sent home with her parrot in a 2-for-1 deal. But to try and avoid this, Lauren snaffled him for a bit of one-on-one time, telling him how the group date was meaningful, and then she came across as slightly unhinged and single white female again as she pitched herself to him. At the elimination ceremony, the first rose went to Sunny, Kim got the second rose, and Janet the third. Lauren was safe, probably because she gives good TV. There were 2 people eliminated. First was Laura, Abby's mum, who we really didn't get to know at all. Then it was Katrina, the other person eliminated. Also, it looks like a big episode on Sunday. The crystal nucks of elimination, you could say, with 5 going. And in exciting news, someone is going to say no to the rose. Can't wait to see who it is.